All right, so here is a short video on bed maths. Remember that the full video can be found in the Math 9 Concepts and Topics playlist. These are just short few examples. So if you want a little bit more in depth, head to those videos. So remember, bed maths, we can do, the two things we can do is we can do multiplication and division from left to right as we see them, and we can do addition and subtraction from left to right as we see them. So I'll show you how to do that. I'll also show you how to tackle a few shortcuts. So here we have division right in the middle of this first question. So we have to do that first. 25 minus 5, and then minus 5. And all we have left is subtraction, so we get 20 minus 5, which is 15. For the second question, you can see we have multiplication and we have brackets, but this subtraction is separating them, so you know you're going to be able to do that multiplication eventually before you do the subtraction, so you can just do that part right away, and then we do what's in the brackets. Now you can see I kept what's in the brackets with brackets around it, but there's nothing going on in those brackets, and now it's either subtraction or division. And we have to do division first because division comes before subtraction, so we get 60 minus 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. So you can see this is why the brackets come in handy, because it separates your negatives. So now that's 60 plus 7, which is 67. Okay, so they're going to get a little bit more complicated. Here we have a question with a whole bunch of exponents. Now we're going to learn how to solve this using exponent laws in section 2, but without that knowledge, we can only do this. So 2 to the power 4 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, so that's 16, divided by 4, because that's 2 times 2, then times 16, and then divided by 8, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And now we do division and multiplication from left to right. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 times 16 is 64. 64 divided by 8 is 8. Boom. So now this next one, we do what's in brackets first, right? Because brackets have to go first. So we can do this and we can do this right away. So we have negative, and then in brackets now, 7, and then plus negative 5. Now something to consider here. Remember that a number next to brackets means multiplication, and that is a number. We just don't write it. That's negative 1. So negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. And then plus negative 5. Now we're just adding two negatives together, so we're getting 12, but negative. So that comes back to section 1.1 again. You see, those integers are going to come back and get us over and over again. So let's look at a big one here. So bed mass, right? Brackets first. Let's get inside the brackets, and you can see you have the rectangular brackets right here. So I would say get inside the first set of brackets and ask yourself, are there more brackets? And there are. We have brackets here and we have brackets here, and they're separated by subtraction. So we're going to have to do what's in between both of those before we do the subtraction. So we can kind of do that at once. 24 minus 8 is 16, and then minus, well, here we get 2 plus 9. So let's keep going on that second set of brackets there. Negative 13 plus 2 times 16 minus 11. And now all we have left in the square brackets is subtraction. So negative 13 plus 2 times 5. Now remember that a number next to brackets right here means multiplication. So we have to do that next. So negative 13 plus 10, and now it's just negative 3. So you can see why I made a big fuss in section 1.1 about adding and subtracting negative numbers, because if you did all of this right, but then you screwed up this, it's just such a shame. So really take your time to make sure you have it all locked down. Another one. So get inside the first set of brackets, the curly brackets. Are there more? Yes. Get inside the rectangular brackets. Are there more? Yes. Get inside the small brackets. So now we have 20 divided by 4 plus 3 times 3 squared minus negative 3 plus 3. Okay, now we can kind of attack this strategically. This 20 divided by 4 at the beginning here, well, it's separated by a plus sign. So we're going to eventually do that first, so we can do that. This 3 times 3 squared, well, it's separated by a subtraction sign. So we're going to eventually do that. So that's 3 times 9. We can kind of work on this as parts. And then in here you get a 0, because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So now we have 5 plus 3 times 9, which is 27, minus 0. So 5 plus 27, which is 32. So we're almost there. I think we got one more. No, that is it. So keep practicing your bed mass. Write it out stepwise. It'll make it a lot easier to follow. But keep up the hard work. I know there's a lot happening here, but we'll just take it one bit at a time. All right. Great work, everybody.